Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, welcome to Wiccan Wednesday. I'm outside. It's a beautiful day. Our Sun Lord is shining down. Hail to the Sun Lord. Hail. But we're going to have some fun today, so come hang with us. We've got a beautiful day here. I tell you, I just love it. It's deep blue skies, a little bit of clouds. Not a lot, just some wispiness. Our Sun Lord's coming down through the trees, just beautiful. You can definitely tell the days are getting shorter because the sun has moved towards the west far quicker than it would have a few months ago. But I'm glad you guys are here with us. Our Sun Lord is bright and glorious today. What a blessing. Well, welcome to Wiccan Wednesday. Before we get into all that, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's video. We did a live messages from the spirit world, and I thank you guys for coming out. I know that on Sunday I said that it was going to be at 8 p.m., but I had to move it to earlier in the day. But a lot of you still came out and supported. Thank you so very much for that. Well, today's Wiccan Wednesday, and we're going to talk today about one of my favorite magical tools, the Wiccan Wand. And as I'm walking here, I'm looking at these beautiful trees. Here's this majestic oak tree here. Well, we could get a lot of wands out of that tree, huh? But you know, it's interesting because when I first started studying Wicca, I read in a book that wands are associated with the element of fire. I read that the athame, which is the ritual knife, is associated with air. So I went with it because that's what I was taught. But as I got to really work with the tools, I had different associations. I think of the wand these days as an element, a tool of the element of air. Because in my mind, trees blow in the wind, they reach towards the sky. I think there's more of an air element. You can see these trees around where I am reaching to the sky. I don't see a natural connection with fire because wood and fire don't get on. Fire destroys wood. Whereas with an athame, the knife, the ritual knife, it's forged in fire. Steel is made in fire. And we cast a circle of light with the athame. So in my mind, wands come from trees which are part of the element of air, reaching into the sky and blowing in the breeze. That's my interpretation. Now you might see it differently. Aren't these trees just beautiful today? Yeah, autumn is really setting in. So we're going to talk about the wand today. Just hang with us. Now that we're in autumn, the leaves here are slowly starting to change. Seeing this whole area will be a blaze of golden glow and orange and red. And then the leaves will start to fall. And when the leaves fall, we'll be able to see the branches much more clearly. A lot of branches will start to fall as the trees dry out. We'll have a selection of wands. Ooh, it'll be wonderful. You know, when I first started out in the craft, as I told you, I believed, according to the books, that the wand was a tool of fire. And so there were plenty of people that supported this thought and backed it up because I saw beautiful wands made of silver. Some were made of copper. There are metal wands, and I definitely think that metal wands are closer to the element of fire. So that made sense to me. But as I got further in my craft, I started to realize that the witches of old, you know, I would see pictures of them. They would be walking with wooden staves through the woods. They'd raise their wand, and it was not a beautiful crystal-studded silver wand. It was a simple wooden wand. And so my concept of the wand started to change, and I thought, maybe wands could be elements of air, related to the element of air. And I realized that in the olden days, I don't think the wands, the witches' wands, at least most of the witches had wands that were silver and gold and jewel-studded. No, the wands of the witches of old were simple wooden staves or staves. And I started to evaluate how one could make one's own wand. One of the other things that I used to question was, it would say in some Wiccan books, like, go cut a branch from a tree, and leave an offering for the tree. And I thought, I would hate somebody to come and cut off one of my hands or fingers. And I think when we cut a tree, it's like cutting off part of somebody's body. And as I walked in the woodlands and studied, I realized that nature provides us already with what we need. For example, here is some down branches. Now this could actually be made into a stang, a forked staff. Still very solid. All we'd have to do is get a saw, trim it off. We'd have a beautiful stang here. We could shellac it if we wanted to preserve it. But I don't have to injure a tree because from the storm, some of the tree limbs fell. As you can see, this tree limb is coming down here. And so the branches that are available can be used. So when you're out walking in nature, walk slowly and pay attention. As I'm walking here, I notice here these beautiful little natural wild daisy flowers. Aren't these lovely? Look at that. Natural flowers, nature's gift. But right below the flowers, look, here's a beautiful branch that is down. I could clean this up and I would have an amazing wand or a staff. Just sitting here. It's not rotten yet. It's still very solid. Could be cleaned up. I could trim the bark off of it or leave it natural. And there are a lot of ways to treat wands. We'll have to do a whole video on wand preparation, but there's a wand right there, just waiting for us. So you see, Mother Nature provides the best of tools. And I'm not saying that we can't go out and buy beautiful silver wands or copper wands inlaid with jewels. That's certainly fun. But if we want to connect back to the original spirit of the craft of the witches of old, I think that they would be much more likely to find their tools in settings such as these. Now, as we look here at the river, notice here all of the down branches. There are staffs just waiting to be carved here. Wands just waiting to be made. We have a plethora, a treasure trove of wooden pieces that can be carved and crafted. That's magic. Our Sun Lord is shining down, blessing our efforts. So you see, all of that, and I don't have to pay a penny, all for free from Mother Nature. For those of you who are on a budget, and who isn't on a budget these days? Even the wealthy people I know are all on budgets. We can find ways to have amazing items and still honor our financial responsibilities. So don't put yourself in a place of bankruptcy for a tool. Oh, now, there are certainly times when it's worth it to spend the money for a special item. But you'll find that if you like a certain tool, it will just start appearing in your life. I love wands, and ever since I chose to work with wands, I have unlimited resources for wands. Wherever I go, they appear. Staffs, wands, stangs, all of it. That's magic. That's manifestation magic. And look, Tubies, talking about manifestation, we've come upon a beautiful deer here. Aren't you beautiful? Aren't you beautiful? Do you see the deer? Look in the center of the screen. Hello. Are you having fun today? Beautiful. Don't be afraid. I love deer. Oh, aren't you beautiful? You're beautiful. Yes, you are. And look, Tubies, as I walk along, I've just found a whole treasure of downed branches that could be made into wands and staffs. This is amazing. Look at that. That would be perfect just to cut for a length of a staff. You could get a good 6-foot staff out of that. Up here, this could be used for wands. You could trim off these edges and make wands of smaller parts. So you see, treasures are here for us if we'll just look. Oh, look at this little squirrel. Hello, boo-boo. He's gone up the tree. Love squirrels. Remember that we don't someday suddenly create magic. Magic is inherent to life on Earth. Life itself is magic. So keep that in mind as you seek out to set out for your wand, because if you have the eyes of magic, you'll find treasures. Well, Tubies, all that walking in the woods made me hungry, so I decided to stop into La Casa and have a fresh-made hot pepperoni pizza. It's good to relax with you guys. Oh, I am crazy about their pizza. They make it fresh-made here. Oh, the cheese. Yum. It's so hot I gotta eat it with a fork. After it cools down I can pick it up, but this is the best. Well, Tubies, look, Psychic Bob is back home. I had a great lunch, had a great walk in the woods, and I thought I'd show you some wands now so we can continue talking about this mystical tool of the Magic Witch's Wand. So here on my table I have displayed some of my magical wands. I think we'll start with this one here. This is a stang wand. It's not quite large enough to be a full staff. The stang is a forked staff. It's usually carried by Wiccan priests and priestesses as signs of their devotion to the horned god. I have a smaller version here. It's about 24 inches. And I'm using it as a wand. And as you can see, it's got a beautiful forked thing, forked top. And so this I carry and I use it as a wand, especially with invoking like Lord Pan. Now you don't have to use the stang only for invoking the Horned Lord. It can also be used as an altar staff. Like if you're out in the woods and you don't have a setup, you can bring the stang and plant it in the ground. And it represents the creation of sacred space. And then you drape on it flowers or leaves or decor, whatever you want. But there's one of my treasured wands, my stang wand. Okay, next to it here, you'll notice this is another wand. As many of you know, whenever I go to the beach, I always look for driftwood wands. This is a driftwood wand that I got at the beach at my mom's house a few months ago. Actually, about a year ago, this one. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful wand. Very light. Driftwood wands are very light. So another way to look at wands is you could have driftwood wands. Now this is what I was talking about when I earlier were walking in the woods. I said you can find natural wood pieces and craft them into wands. And so here we go. Now also there are what we call crafted wands. And these are some of my crafted wands. Now this one I showed you yesterday. By the way, I'm going to show you my new wand stand here real quick. This is a new wand stand that I just bought. I bought it on Etsy. I'll put the link below to the store. But it's beautiful handcrafted wood stand. It's got brass corners on the edges to protect it. It's got inlaid brass. It's very Victorian looking. I just love it. And so it holds my wand. Now this is one of my other wands. This is one that I bought a few years ago, about 2 years back, and I just love it. There's a guy on Etsy also who makes wands, who handcrafts them. This was handmade. And as you can see, the end is kind of like an acorn sort of design, and it tapers. Very elegant wand. This is like something you might see in Harry Potter. Very beautiful crafted wand, okay? This is another one. I used to work at a metaphysical store, like, gosh, over about 15 years ago. And they would sell these. They're like glitter wands. This one's done in purple glitter, and it just sparkles. So, you know, I'm crazy about the color purple. So there's another one of my wands. The guy that made this wand also made this one. This one's another wand, handcrafted, a little different. You can look at the detail on it. It's very elegant. It feels very good in the hands, very balanced. Now, you know. And so somebody's going to say, well, Psychic-Bob, which hand do I hold the wand in? Well, traditionally, it depends on what you're doing. If you're calling and summoning spirits, you'd hold it in your receptive hand. So like when I summon spirits, I hold in my right hand, which is my receptive hand. If I want to cast a spell or, you know, invoke, send out power, I put it in my left hand, which is my projective hand. I'm left-handed, so the hand that you write with is called your projective hand. So if I'm sending out power to someone or object, I use my left hand. If I'm invoking spirits, I hold the wand in my right. So anyways, just the one way that I do it. So as you can see, here's another beautiful handcrafted wand. Actually, let me put these together so you can see them. So that's one. It's almost a blackish wood. These were both done by the same guy. But aren't they just beautiful? I love them. This is the wand I received as a gift, a birthday gift from Lady Angela. And isn't it beautiful? It's got a crystal ball. It's made of black ebony wood, and it's inlaid with silver wire. And it's got a silver end cap with a real garnet. These are real gems, crystal, rock crystal, and garnet, and silver, sterling silver. And at the end of this one, it has a crystal and points set in silver. This is one of my treasured pieces. I just absolutely love it. Then here's another wand that I had. This again, also, I should move that up there. That's part of this set. All three of these I bought from a dealer who does beautiful wands. I'll put his link below also. Beautiful, beautiful wand though. As you can see, it's clearly hand carved, just spectacular. And here's another beautiful wand. This was a gift for me as well. And I just love it. It's all hand carved. It's inlaid with brass. It has custom made handle out of leather. And then it's, you can see, just beautiful, beautiful woodwork. I'm crazy about it. And then this is probably my oldest wand. Not in terms of how long I've owned it. I haven't owned this one about a year or two. But this is made out, came from Ireland. I ordered it from Ireland. It came from Irish bogwood. Bogwood is a type of wood. For those of you who live in Ireland, you probably know about this. But where there are bogs, it's like swampy marshlands where the ground is wet and soft. Deep underneath, they found remains of tree stumps and wood. And it's so old, it's like becomes very hard. It's on the verge of petrification. It's still wood, but it's so solid and hard. It's hard to break. It's very solid. This was a piece of bogwood. The estimated age of the wood is 2,000 years old. So this is a 2,000-year-old piece of wood that has been carved into a wand. Irish bogwood. You can research. It's fascinating stuff. And of course, I can't forget one of my staffs. People say, well, what's the difference between a staff and a wand? Well, staffs, most people think of them as simply tools for walking. But the witches and wizards of old knew that staves were really wands, just large wands. These are good. It's great to use a staff, one, to carry it for protection, for blessing, just for the practical use of walking. But this is great to invoke great powers. I like to think of, using these type of staffs in like weather magic. You could go out and raise it to the sun and the clouds and the sky. You don't have to use weather magic, but that's one way that a lot of wizards and witches use their staffs. So I have a large staff, which is actually, the staff is just simply a large wand. They're really the same. The wand, you could say, is the staff that has become miniaturized. So there you go. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed being here today and learning about the magical wand. Tell me in the box below, do you own a wand? Or do you think maybe you could go and make one? I'd love to hear about your experiences with the magical tool of the wand. And tell me, what spiritual tradition are you? Are you a Wiccan or a Thelemite or a Norse pagan, an Asatru? Do you use the wand in your magical tradition if you're a pagan? I'd love to hear about that as well. So let's have a discussion about the magical wand. Well, guys, listen. Also, I know I was going to give you a big announcement. I'm still waiting on some information to make that announcement. But just to give you a little hint, try to keep October 24th, the afternoon, open. That's going to be a Thursday, October 24th. We're going to be holding a witches' tea party. I'm going to have more details for you tomorrow about that. But just remember it. If you're interested in coming out and meeting, we're going to do a Zoom meeting. I'm going to host a tea party. And all you have to do is wear something witchy and bring a cup of tea with you. And we're going to all mix and mingle. We're going to have some witchy poetry reading, maybe show some artworks by people who do witchy art. And, just kind of mix and mingle. We're going to do this as a charity fundraiser, I believe. And we'll have more about that tomorrow. But come out and join us and keep that on your schedule. All right, we'll have more tomorrow, but I just want to give you a heads up. Well, guys, listen, thanks for being here. I love you. I hope you've enjoyed this. Blessings to all of you. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. Tomorrow's Thursday, Vlog Thursday. I don't know where we're going to go, but just show up. We'll have some fun. Listen, help me out. Like this video, favorite it, share with your friends. Post it on your Facebook and hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here. Anyways, also don't forget to visit my website, PsychicBob.com, for information on psychic readings, as well as you're able to sign up over there for my psychic development class. Every Saturday we're going to have psychic development, so this Saturday we're going to talk about spirit communication. Hope you'll join us. The class price is $30. We meet via Zoom. Information at PsychicBob.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for being here. I love you. Till tomorrow, may all of you always blessed be. Oh, by the way, how you like my white witch hat?